ChatGBT. If you haven't already done it, go to the website, go to openai.com, and then go ahead and scroll down about halfway through the page. And if you'll look, there's a section there that says, try it. Go ahead and download it. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to get set up. Mine's already set up. And what will happen is you're going to have this open dialog box that you see right there. Perfect. Okay. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is just go ahead and open up a Word document. You can entitle it anything you want. We're using this basically as a cut and paste. I entitled mine AI Word Crafting RE because that's the topic that we're covering today. This works really, really good if you have more than one screen. If you have multiple screens, I would highly recommend that. All right, it's a tool like any other tool, but here is what it's going to specifically do to benefit you as a realtor. It's going to help you write your posts in your social media posts and your blogs much, much faster. It's going to help you with your property description and your syndicated remarks in MLS. I use it to write scripts and preferred dialogue points and talking points. You can use it for to create checklists within your brokerage or within your practice. But here's the two things I think that this product does that just really, really makes it come alive. I think one of the things that it does is number one, is it helps you organize your thoughts. Many of us can think at the speed of light, for goodness sakes, and it's very difficult to get the stuff down in a written format. We go from idea to idea to idea. And what this does is kind of helps maybe organize our thoughts much, much quicker and helps us not forget things. And then the second thing that I think this type of product does brilliantly is it helps you when you get into a stall. How many times are you sitting in front of a word processor and trying to think, okay, I'd like to write a blog post and I'd like to write a blog post on the current state of the market in Phoenix. You know, if I'm a real estate broker in Phoenix and I want to get a market update on a semi-regular basis, and I don't want to just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. And I just have this, I'm stopped, I'm stalled. Many times we have a writer's block. And I think this is the very best, most decent utilization of this type of tool. It's going to get you started when you have a block. It's going to help you produce content much, much faster. It's going to give you an opportunity to review it quickly. You can change it and edit it very quickly. So ChatGBT is a database like any other database. It's not hooked up to the internet today. So the information that you're going to get in this database, I think, was available, anything that was available on the internet up to 2021, 2022, somewhere around there. Why is it important? Because there's some basic rules around that. If you're looking for a market update with current information, you're not going to have it through ChatGBT. Now, you can provide it, and that's what I'd recommend you do. If you're doing a market update in Phoenix, you can go in how many homes are active, how many homes are active under contract, how many sales happened in the last 30 days, what's the current number of homes that are pending, and what's the supply, and all these different things. So you can simply type in those statistics, those stats, and into your Word document, cut and paste them into the ChatGPT tool, and then give it a command at that point. So there's some best practices around ChatGPT. So we said it's a database. So like any other database, it's an interactive database, and databases love things like query and command. And so the way that you query and command ChatGPT is going to determine the quality of the product, the end product that you're getting out. Now, here's a couple of simple ideas around that. So you can have this AI written document and you read it and you're like, man, that doesn't sound like me. It doesn't sound like me at all. Well, you can make revisions and corrections. Some people do that right inside the ChatGPT tool. I don't. I cut and or copy and paste that over into a Word document. I like to use the read out loud function in the Word document so I can kind of listen to it. What does this really sound like? Would I say that? Is that normal vocabulary for me? I don't want anyone to rely 100% on ChatGPT because what you're going to be doing is just spraying a lot of words out into the world. And it's not your voice, and it might not be relevant to what you're doing. What I do want you to use ChatGPT for is to inspire you to write better content, to get that done faster, and to put you in a program of getting it done on a regular basis. Okay, to save time, I went ahead and typed this into a Word document. Write a 500-word article I'm a real estate professional with ABC Real Estate Company in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Don Stanek. I love working with first-time buyers. Include a paragraph on each of the 5 most important things that a first-time buyer should focus on when buying their first home. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this from my Word document into ChatGBT. And when I paste it with plain text because I don't necessarily want all the additional potential formatting that the Word document had in it. So bada boom, bada bang, it starts generating this incredible little story. 5 paragraphs on first-time buyer. I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, kind of makes sense. Get pre-qualified with a lender, work with a trusted realtor, all this other stuff. Great. So I'm going to take and copy this and paste it back over into my Word document. And why am I going to do that? Because for me, it's just easier for me to edit in Word. You might not have this affliction. I do. I prefer to work in Word. So I take a look and I start reading it. Does this narrative make sense? Is this something that I would say? Is it nonsense? Does it make sense? I don't know. So, at the bottom of the paragraph, in conclusion, I've determined that's not my voice. So I just, clip that out of there. Pretty cool, right? But the real magic also happens because you could take this exact same thing that you just produced and you could, in the dialog box, say something like, rewrite this article in 1,400 characters so it fits in Twitter. And it's going to regenerate it. And there, bada boom, bada bang, you got the exact same topic. You've now condensed it into a different format so you can easily post it over. You don't have to think about how am I going to condense this down. Or you could say, expand it to 5,000 words and include it in a policies and procedures manual as a basic minimum standard for an agent that I'm coaching in a brokerage, a brand new agent that I'm coaching in a brokerage who has to understand what is the minimum performance standard that I expect when they engage a brand new buyer. Pretty cool, eh? So here's another example. I'm a real estate broker who works with luxury buyers and sellers in Palm Springs, California. What are 15 blog post topics that would be interesting to luxury clients who are looking for a second home? Okay, again, I'm going to just copy it in Word. I'm going to paste it in ChatGPT. I'm going to send it. Now, for the sake of time, I am clipping a little bit of time out of this video, but I'll tell you the end-to-end process for me, including just basically typing it in and letting it run. I think end-to-end I was sitting at about 2 minutes or maybe 3 minutes max. So let's go back and take a look at these 15 ideas that were generated to do a blog post. Topics, right? What are they? 10 reasons why Palm Springs is a perfect place for luxury and second home. A guide to investing in Palm Springs luxury real estate, opportunities and risks. How to rent out your second home in Palm Springs, a guide for luxury property owners. Is that brain surgery? No, it's not brain surgery. But here's what happens. What happens is, in our day, when we're going from one thing to another thing, we're doing a listing presentation, we're trying to prospect, we're taking phone calls, we're dealing with people that we have that are under contract and there's some sort of a complication with their mortgage or any number of other things. We're in this constant state of context switching all the time. And so when it comes, if I just on the spot said, hey, give me 15 reasons, 15 of your top best reasons for you to, saddle to buy a unicorn, you're like, well, I like unicorns, right? And so we do this all the time. So why not just use ChatGPT in a manner that I just did to create 15 blog post topics and titles? Now that you have those things, you can easily make a file folder for each of them, write individual Word document on each of those individual topics, and it's going to be stored in your social media content library. You got 15 topics. Let's say you're going to put one out a week, or let's just say, on this particular topic, you're going to do one every other week, right? So now you have 30 weeks covered. You have 6 months of content ideas already stored up. Now you still have to go back in and flesh them out, but it's a starting spot. And this is the best way to really do anything that you're approaching in your business. You start with an outline. What are the activities that I need to do to get to the to the finish line? I can break it down into little steps. I think ChatGPT is a really, really excellent resource in an agile mindset thought and a thought process. Re-agile is about taking big things and breaking them down into small sequences. Okay, are we having fun yet? Well, let's try this. Let's try making a marketing plan, right? So how about if I just type in, I'm a world-class real estate listing agent, write a basic marketing outline to include 10 essential activities to promote the sale of a home. Include staging, photography, a property website, social media, direct mail, and a grand opening event for the first weekend of property showings. Let's see what happens. Okay, again, a very simple copy and paste from my Word document over into ChatGBT, and I'm going to let this kind of rock and roll so that you can really have an appreciation for how much of not only a time savings it is, but, I'm not clipping any time out of this video. I think it's accomplished its task in like maybe 45 seconds or so. And so what are we looking at? We're looking at some pretty good fundamental tips with how I might want to promote a house. And why the heck is that so important? Because if I'm going in for a listing presentation, one of the things that I need to do is differentiate myself between other real estate professionals in the area. And as a listing agent, my number one priority is to get maximum exposure on the house so that we can drive the price up to the highest possible valuation we can drive it up. If I go in there and I don't have a plan, it's a problem. Why don't I just cut and paste this onto company stationery and bring it along with me for the listing presentation? Okay, so maybe that part's a little bit of oversimplification. We know you're not just going to cut and paste it into company stationery and you're going to have a great piece. Because here's the thing, your listing presentation has to be evidence-based and it has to be true. But this is a great starting place for a marketing plan. Why don't you come up with those 10 or 15 things that you're going to do every time you're going to list a property? Then what you do is you start backing in the steps. You have an action item list sitting right in front of you, those 10 things. What resources do you have to be able to achieve those 10 things? Are those 10 things the most important things you can do to promote that property? Are you missing one? Do you need to add a couple? Are there some sub-steps within there? Or can these things be grouped? I would probably think that staging photography, and writing some basic content probably is all grouped into those very beginning stages. I think that planning for a grand opening style event on the first weekend of showing probably has a bunch of other subcategories in there. Are you promoting it to the brokerage community? Are you promoting it as a sneak preview for your own office? Are you promoting it as let's let the neighbors come and take a look at it before we let the general public come there? And so there might be a variety of additional things and strategies that you're doing inside this document. Here's the point. It took me just like a minute to put that together. And I can't tell you how many times I deal with listing agents who just struggle with marketing. They just absolutely struggle with marketing. It's a pretty normal thing. There's a lot of really good buyer's agents out there who ultimately evolve into taking more listings, and they have excellent sales skills. But when it comes to promoting a property, their marketing skills are really good, but over time they get better. But use this as a fundamental outline to get sharp faster. Oh my gosh, we have covered a lot of ground in a relatively short period of time. Here's some of the takeaways that I want to make sure that you're participating in between now and the next time that you and I connect. Number one, if you are not using ChatGBT, go to OpenAI and download the tool. Open an account. They're free. At this point, it's going to be free, but who knows what's going to happen in the future? Take a guess, right? They're going to lock it down and you're going to end up having to pay for it. There's other products like this coming into the market. But go get the free instance, number one. Okay, so number two, use it, play with it. You're not going to break it. I have a tendency in my examples, the 3 or 4 examples that I made, is I write and type out these different scenarios as if it's a little tiny novella, right? A little vignette. And so you can do the same thing, or what you can do is find other ways to query ChatGPT to get to where it is you got to go. And then the regeneration button, which we didn't even talk about, is at the bottom of the query. And what you can do at that point is you can type in a simple message that says, rewrite this at a 7th grade reading level. Rewrite this for an executive officer of a large company. Take the above information and summarize it. You could say, delete the 3rd paragraph and substitute something else, right? So you're not going to break it. Go in there and play around with it and see how you're going to utilize it and use it. All right. Next thing is use it. So it's not a novelty and it's not a toy. It's a business tool that's going to help you enhance your business productivity. And if you go ahead and schedule the time to do it, then it's going to become a habit. So let's just say when you're crafting out your social media narrative, your post, the words that you're actually crafting in whatever format you're doing that, you go ahead and craft these and you set time aside for it. Let's say that's Monday morning between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning. So you have 1 hour where you're just putting together this raw ideas, some basic words, some basic file folders. And maybe that's the point that you're working in ChatGBT to really kind of flesh out these different ideas for these posts. Then, maybe that goes into your Wednesday folder and you're there creating the post because now you've got maybe some images or some photography or something also that's very interesting and supportive around your narrative. Friday comes, bada boom, bada bang, you send them out, you're posting it. If you maintain this discipline and you take a look at ChatGPT as a business tool for productivity and not kind of a toy or a novelty, you're going to leverage the power of it. It's going to put you head and shoulders above everybody else that's trying to do something similar in the real estate market that you are. Please hit that subscribe button and don't forget, visit our website and schedule your free 30-minute evaluation.